what I'm looking for in the bike path inspection here is to create a possibility for people to get fast to places. If we want to create a real alternative to cars, one of the issues is speed. If we can reduce the speed for cars in the urban space and at the same time increase the speed for bike riders, we are creating a real alternative, sometimes a better alternative. So what I'm looking for is the small cracks, the small problems, the small transitions. Are there ramps needed to get up on a curb and on to the next bike path? Is it a straight angle? Can we soften up the angle a little bit so that we have a more smooth ride instead of riding up through the intersection, braking, climbing up, turning, and then accelerating? If we're 20 bike riders after each other trying to do this movement, there's a pretty good chance we're not going to clear the intersection before the cars get their green light. So it's a minor thing just to enhance the length of the ramp, a few meters to the one side, and we can have a smooth ride. A little thing that will make a lot of difference. So generally, we have a huge amount of money, as you've seen, for bike infrastructure. We have the best bike paths, some of the best bike paths in the world, but that's not the problem. Our problem is the intersections. In the intersections where the heavy traffic is, that's where the potholes will be created, that's where the cracks are from the maintenance work, repairs of pipes and I don't know what they dig up all the time in the crossings. That's where the problems are. So, if I'm faced with a problem that I see in my movement through town, and here I want to emphasize, the movement is not just of a surface scan that I do. We can do that digital, but it doesn't make sense because it's all about how we travel through the space, the urban space. So what I'm making is a dynamic evaluation of the travel through urban space. And the only way you can do that, really, is by being a bike rider. And I am a professional bike rider. I have a lot of attention extra. So when I'm sitting on my bike, I can easily react to problems, but at the same time orientate myself around, see how people move around me, and then get a better view of how the intersection, for instance, is working in a certain place. Sometimes I might even just stop, sit there for a while, wait, and get a feel for what's happening. How are people moving? And these people will probably be coming there every day. Car drivers, bike riders. And I watch what they're doing. Sometimes I might even stop a bike rider and interview the person and say, hey, may I ask you a few questions? Are you facing any problems here? What's up? How is this intersection? Is it cool? Is it bad? And sometimes they would say, I've seen crashes, like really grim crashes. Or they would say, hey, by the way, there's a pothole back up here. That's good communication because we show that we care for people. We get their information. We get their spatial, dynamic information. And it's not something I write down, but it's something that the suggestions I will make will just make everything nicer. And we don't really need to write everything down as such because it's just minor improvements that we're looking for generally. So what I'll do when I'm faced with a problem, say this would be a crack in an intersection. That's not nice. Our wheels can get caught in here and we might fall. So sometimes I carry this will be a matchbox in the live situation. I would throw the matchbox on the ground and with my smartphone I would take a picture that would create a file that can be opened in Google Earth. It would show a picture of the situation and a pinned point within a 10-15 meter tolerance of where the problem is. And I make sure that I take the picture so that it's explaining by itself pretty much where it is. So I have something in the background showing that, okay, this is where it is. So like right here, this post here would be nice to have up against. Right. And so when I'm done, I take my purple spray can, which is also the same color of the logo for the Bike City of Aarhus, which is a 4-spoke wheel. And I take my spray can. If this was a hole instead, inside the hole I would spray our logo. It's totally guerrilla marketing. It's totally in line what people are doing. They're spraying everywhere, but here we're doing it for a purpose. And this will be covered again. So when the maintenance people come and throw some tarmac in there, it's done. Same with the cracks. Just give it a little mark. It's very smart, and it's at the same time it's marketing. It's marketing that we care for people. It's marketing for the people who come and do the maintenance, that they can see where it is easily. No bullshit, no big, applied, difficult engineer type solution. Pretty simple. And most citizens very soon will have phones like these, and they will be able to do the same thing. We lack, however, yeah, good point. We lack, however, the reception of their complaints. And we shouldn't see it as complaints against our work. We should just see it as a help. And we should encourage people to help us find the cracks and holes, because they'll be there no matter what. So there's no reason for us to hide it. There's no reason to be embarrassed. Matter of fact, we as a government, we as an authority might even come out looking a lot better on the other side, because we open up the dialogue with people around us. It's very great. Question?
Is there a website or an application to report?
No, we created our own database. So what I do when I get back home, I'll sit and type in. I might do it in the spot. I'll make the file name easily understandable what the problem is in text as a file name, and then I can upload it into the database that we've made. It's a pretty simple database. It just says the road name, maybe the house number, and just when it's reported in, and then you have the file that you can click on, and they will open up into Google Earth. Very easy, very simple. You don't need to buy any special expensive equipment or systems. Smartphone, that's all it is.
Is there a commitment on the city's part to get it fixed within a certain amount of time? What's the turnaround time?
Yes, but I haven't experienced that yet.
Do you mean they're not fixing them yet?
It's, I would say, I haven't heard a straight answer to that question actually yet, but there is a kind of sense that it should be done within a week, but they're prioritizing right now. We've had the roughest winter for many, many years, and it's created a lot of potholes. So there are different priorities, and the maintenance people are maybe tired of going out and doing stuff all the time, and maybe their understanding of the priority is more of the car driver situation than of the bike situation, especially if you have bike paths that are away from the roads. Then they would really have to think to get to that place, and that's a problem sometimes. So in time I'll connect with these people and start talking to them and understand their problems, and they will understand mine too, and we will have a much better service for the citizens. Any more questions?
Who has the best bike paths?
Ooh, I don't know, but with minor adjustments, we can make ours just as good as the engineered super bike paths, because we have already an infrastructure in place. We just sometimes need minor improvements to make the travel through the urban space faster.
Thank you.
So yeah, you can get my card here.
Oh, thank you.